Let's go.
Hello everyone, I'm Jay. It's good to see you again and welcome to episode 3 of our Aston Martin playthrough. If you haven't already, pause the video and watch episodes 1 and 2. I've done my best to try and keep them under 30 minutes long. I know some people like the longer videos, but I like mine to try and fit within a lunch break, that sort of thing. From our last couple of races, Fernando Alonso has solidified himself as Mr. Consistent. 3 7th places in a row. Lance Stroll shows little bits of promises and then crashes into inanimate objects. Now hopefully we don't get any more crazy races just like Jeddah, but we do have Japan coming up where if there are any mistakes it could prove costly. We've put some new upgrades onto the car. This is the first time this season we're putting upgrades onto the car. After Japan we have China, which is a sprint weekend off the top of my head, so we will definitely have the majority of our upgrades locked and loaded in by then. Can we start looking at getting higher than 7th place with Fernando? We'll have to watch now. But thank you to everyone who's been watching all the rest of the videos we've been released on the channel. We've had some iRacing stuff come out and the ratings videos for all the drivers with mentality penned in, but their contracts in there as well. All 3 of those videos have been doing pretty well, so thank you all for carrying on, not just watching them but sharing them out with other people as well. Enough of me yapping, time for a quick message from a past me and we'll get straight to Japan. If you haven't already, thumbs up the video and subscribe. And if you want to share, go for it. Check out the links in the video description below where you'll find the Discord, socials and Twitch account that, as well as racing content, contains other genres of game too. After this video, check out more racing and sports content on the channel, and hopefully I'll see you in the comment section here and in other videos. Enjoy. Nothing too much to write home about when it comes to getting prepared for Japan. We're not going to be putting on as many upgrades as we probably wanted to at the start of the save, instead delaying a few till China. With our sponsor plans, we're not going to overload it by as much last time. This is just due to the fact that some people are reporting that it still needs to be fixed in the patch, that you're not always getting the entirety of your sponsor money when it comes to commitments. So we'll just put a couple on there, nothing too much, and just roll out from there. With a new sponsor plan also means that my scouts are back, so we can carry on scouting up and coming British talent. Yes, Behrman is going to be one of them. See how close they are to their end of their contract and see if we can get a quick poaching from Ferrari. That would be a hell of a steal from there. And we'll experience for the first time in this series as we head to Japan, rain qualifying. Now rain qualifying on the past games was a mad scramble, trying to use your weather station to predict when the best time to get your drivers out with minimal rainfall is on, and it's kind of the same this time around. We need in fact to get caught out, not noticing that halfway through the session the rainfall's a little bit higher when we're doing our second laps, but both of our drivers thankfully pulled through right with a last gasp effort. Q2 was a mad scramble. I mean, the amount of rain that was forecasted to come down, we had to go out and get a qualifying lap in early. Unfortunately, everybody else thought the same, and it got so much that Magnussen actually caused a red flag. But this isn't what annoyed me about this. So you can get red flags, that's absolutely fine. But after we got back into the session, it gave us the option to go back out and do a lap. I stupidly took that, and then the game reset for a post red flag qualifying. Unfortunately, the game has registered both my drivers as already been out the pits, and bugged in the game is that I can't go back out again. So if this ever happens again, and if this happens to you, please just be patient, unlike me. And with that, we've got put behind the crashed Magnussen, which is a killer blow right there. I don't ever do it simply, do I? I always have to do it the hard way, but we'll keep our heads up and let's just hope we can somehow get one, if not maybe even luckily 2 cars into the points. It's going to be a tough one, but let's go.
Anticipation is really building here. The fans in attendance are absolutely buzzing with excitement. The drivers are warmed up, they're ready to go here at the Japanese Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
So starting 14th and 15th, looks like we're getting a position swap straight away between the 2 drivers. And we've just got to be patient. If we can't get anything straight away, we're just going to have to play the long game with this. But we seem to be stuck right behind Ocon, and straight away Alonso just taking no prisoners. Unfortunately, Stroll not so the same. Alonso though, apparently with a pretty big point to make just there, dispatching both Haas and Kick, and should be putting us just outside the points. It does. 11th place for Alonso. Stroll eventually gets past Ocon, and I think with Stroll we'll just play the long game. If anything comes up, we'll just have to be making sure Stroll's there to take it. Alonso though, 11th. I'm feeling pretty confident now with just a couple of cars in front. Let's push. Okay then, or not game. I get it.
Just stay positive.
Curse of the commentator. It's going to be another long race, isn't it?
Within a split second, the impact's made. And they'll definitely be facing a few questions from the team after that.
With the virtual safety car off, and it looks like Stroll's pushing along with Alonso. Alonso, very unfortunate not to recreate his move from years and years ago on Yuki Tsunoda, home country favourite. And I know we're only 8 laps in, but I'm starting to feel quietly confident that we can get a couple of points in, and it looks like Tsunoda and Alonso back and forth at the moment with a fantastic pass. Brilliant pass from Alonso. Oh, that was good.
Let's go.
Let's go! Fortunately though, it's not just us charging at the field. See, it wasn't just Aston Martin who had a pretty terrible qualifying session there. Turns out Sainz of Ferrari had an even worse one, and as well as us climbing up the field, it looks like he is too. So we may have to surrender a space, because the Ferraris are pretty rapid this early in the season. But no doubt with a few more upgrades we can hopefully be
Get ready.
quick enough to keep up with their DRS. Now as Sainz got past Alonso, I noticed 1 or 2 cars starting to pit a little bit earlier, so I'm going to seize the initiative this time, get some pushing done whilst we get ourselves in for a little bit of an earlier pit stop. Not going to be boxing, doing a double stack or anything like that. Both the cars are a little bit too close. I just do not trust my pit crew at the moment to get that done without any problems. So Alonso in first, Stroll in second. So whilst Alonso's fighting with Yuki, we're hoping once Russell makes his stop, he'll end up behind, hopefully, Alonso. And there we go, yes. Russell with his stop comes out behind Alonso, just in front of Stroll. So maybe Stroll can push a little bit, and maybe we can get towed by Russell and maybe start making things happen. So the early cut worked so well, we actually ended up in front of Carlos Sainz as well, which is fantastic. I'm kind of hoping that Ricciardo can hold up Sainz enough to give Alonso some time with Yuki, just to try his best to dispatch of him and get out of that DRS zone.
Need the full lift in 3.
It looks like we might be able to get it done by the end of this lap. Alonso thinking about a move there. I'm kind of glad he didn't. Getting himself through. We're going to drive in clean air just to try and open up a gap. So we won't be using a slipstream, but we'll have DRS on our side. Look at that, just should be a nice easy pathway through. As we come to the end, oh no, never mind, Tsunoda has other ideas and kind of get squeezed a bit to the end there, like...
Yep, low battery.
I don't know, I'll be up in the steward's office about that one.
A bit of charging.
We do finally get by Yuki, but at the cost of Carlos Sainz getting past both the Abbeys. and absolutely smoking us. Upgrades needed ASAP. However, it looks like Hamilton has a bit of a mechanical fault, and as the laps go by we get closer and closer. Hamilton pitting as well, and it looks like we're actually fighting with Tsunoda to try and get as close as possible to Hamilton. And it's an absolutely electrifying battle. These two just cannot stay away from each other. Bye-bye. They just cannot stay away from each other, it seems, through this whole championship season so far. We actually get past Hamilton as well. Massive bonus. Up into Alonso's favourite position, it seems, this season. Whilst playing around with Stroll's settings, we found Russell actually trying and undercut himself. So with that, time to push Stroll as much as possible. Try and go in. Try and get that pit stop done and get out, hopefully either right behind Russell or just in front. I'm hoping just in front. Stroll's pushing and pushing and pushing, and just the fact that he's catching up Danny Ricciardo so quick is giving me hope, with Russell about 20 seconds in front from the point of Stroll entering the pits, and there's another slow stop. No.
What? Sorry, mate. Clear on exit.
We would have been closer to Russell after that.
Car ahead, Russell.
Oh, that sucks. I don't deserve this.
Behind Hulkenberg.
With 10 laps left, this is the situation. Alonso, 7th place, but has to try and keep Yuki behind him by more than a second, because if Yuki gets that DRS, it is going to be next to impossible to keep him away from us. Meanwhile, Stroll, we're doing everything we can with Stroll to catch up to Russell, and that number seems to be changing into a lot of different numbers on the interval, but it doesn't seem to want to go below 2 seconds at the moment. We may have to save some of Stroll's energy and just get ready for a last minute push. We need something to help us out here. Maybe a safety car? If you've got enough spare from Jeddah, we'll take him here.
Focus forward.
6 laps to go and time running out for Stroll. 60% left of the soft tyres. Russell's going to have a little bit of an advantage over us with a car which seems to be a lot more suited around here than the Aston, plus rated higher driver. So we've really got to try and save what we can, and there we go.
Yep.
With that, we can start saving. I turned down the softs and the fuel anyway, because I was going to try and save for a big push at the end, but this might suit us pretty well, actually.
And clearly then, not what everyone in the garage would have wanted to see.
We need a lot of low-speed scrubbing.
So with significant charge, a lot of fuel to burn, it's time to get pushing. Alonso, I would say now, is safe for yet another 7th. Can we get double points? Now, Stroll, just the pace of Russell is just absolutely electric, and even though we're pushing, I'm trying not to burn my tyres out too much here. See, yeah, Russell on mediums and still faster than us, so
Car ahead, Russell.
we've got this. We need to
1.2 behind.
get ready for one last push, because I can't go all out just yet. We still have 3 laps to go.
Getting the pack up.
Having no charge left would be disastrous for us. Just got to hope that somehow Russell going under 50% tyres, and that failure on his powertrain that he's got at the moment can aid us to get in that 10th place. And all it took was a couple more corners before I thought hope is gone. Thinking it's a mechanical fault. Nope, it was letting a lead car out the way. Like, surely just going wide on this corner would have been better than actually like slowing down on the quick part of the circuit. But the only thing that's going to save us now is if Verstappen can somehow catch up to George and have him slow down at the same time. That's going to be what we have to go for now, and it might happen here. It's the final lap. So going round, and this would be a good place for George to slow down actually, because it's a bit of a slower part of the track. Just waiting, we're just hoping 1.7 behind. Pushing as hard as we can now. Just waiting on that battery power just in case. There's George. He's let him go. And there it is. Chase is on. Deploy. One last push needed. Come on, Lance.
You've got Russell ahead.
0.3. And getting closer and closer. We're going to turn the overtake aggression high and an audacious pass on the outside, side by side.
Awesome.
And we make the move. I can't believe we've actually done it. Final lap. Lance Stroll.
Do everything you can to call your time.
Take a bow. And with that, Aston Martin double points.
Yes! Yes!
What a race that was! And there, of course, we see Lance strolling in.
Just managing a finish in the points, having crossed the line in 10th.
After starting 14th, 15th on the grid, double points, and yet another 7th place for Alonso. But we're still no closer to getting any of those top 6s, even with Carlos Sainz starting all the way back, even behind us. We managed to get into that top 6, so when these upgrades come, and they can't come soon enough. Oh, that's not an email anybody ever wants to see. And due to a factory fire, our factory shut down for 12 days and manufacturing is paused for 12 days. So all the upgrades we were supposed to get for China, I don't think they're coming now. Ah, well that sucks. Thankfully though, we do have front wings on their way, and hopefully they can make some sort of difference to us being assured of getting double points every time that we enter a race for the rest of the season. It's not all the upgrades we want, but at least we've got an upgrade. It is time though, however, for our first sprint race weekend of the season, and I'm quietly confident after getting a 6th place for Alonso. We had a little bit of traffic for Stroll, so he starts back in 12th. I'm not too worried, but I'm hoping to at least get one of our drivers in the points for this sprint. Both going to be running mediums. We're not going to be running with less fuel because it's only 19 laps. Believe me, I've tried, it's a pain, and let's just hope that we can get something out of this.
Here we go, the sprint in Shanghai. It's lights out and away we go.
Now the sprint wasn't too memorable, however, I think it needs to be noted that all the horrible things I've said about Stroll in this save so far, I take a lot of it back after this. He somehow managed to climb all the way up from 12th up to 8th place. Alonso with a beautiful overtake on Piastri at the end to finally break that 7th place curse. And we somehow find ourselves in double points for the sprint, so I'm pretty happy with that. Qualifying now though, so even though the sprint's out the way, we still have the main race and these 3 sessions. Should both drivers get through to both, I'm hoping Stroll can put behind his disappointments of his sprint qualifying session and maybe even just nick a 10th or 9th place. And both do get into Q3 as we find out where they're going to be finishing up. Stroll surprisingly above Alonso, so send them out towards the end, both with a fresh pair of softs. We've got a lot of softs this weekend. And Stroll finds a small bit of an improvement, 7th, and Alonso potentially a 6th place, or maybe even another 7th for Alonso here. And Alonso gets no improvement. Wow. Stroll out-qualifying Alonso for, I can't remember if that's happened again this season, but it's extremely rare. Both in the top 10 though for the race. Get in. So for today's race we're going to have Alonso going through 2 sets of softs before a different tyre for the final stint. Meanwhile for Lance it's going to be a fast start, a very sort of quiet, calm down middle, and a furious finish. Two completely contrasting different pit stops. Let's see where it gets both of them.
Well, it's great to have you with us, folks, as we settle in for the weekend's Grand Prix action. Here in Shanghai. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Fernando with a great start there, going up a place, but unfortunately as the corners go on, ends up losing out to Hamilton. So still 7th for Stroll, 9th for Alonso at the moment. We decide to push up. We did forget to do this at the start of the race. I don't know if that's going to have a bit of an impact on the starts, but we've got it in now. So once the field sort of spreads out a little bit, we'll hopefully find it easier to make overtaking opportunities. Then again, with how close Hamilton is to Stroll, it might be the other way around, especially with DRS opening up now. And that was nearly a rear end. So even though Hamilton did dispatch Stroll pretty easily within those first couple of laps, Stroll is not taking this line down, manages to get the pass back, and Alonso at the same time, surprise surprise, fighting with Yuki Tsunoda at this moment in time. This could be a pretty tight one, but so far Stroll doing a fantastic job. Alonso lagging a bit further behind than usual. Eventually though, Stroll's pace does slow down a bit, meaning that Alonso could take advantage. After getting past Yuki, then to Stroll, Alonso in the same lap just absolutely obliterates Hamilton and puts himself back up to 7th place. We decided for good measure with both our cars to pit a little bit earlier than usual. We had Stroll pushing a couple laps before his pit, so he was able to get past Fernando. Fernando using that DRS to start a new lap should hopefully do absolute wonders for his undercut. But fingers crossed as we watch Stroll get into the pits. No more long stops, please. No more long stops. Give me a quick one. Give me a quick one. That is brilliant. Finally, I knew they had it in them. And for Alonso as well, there we go. See, that wasn't so hard. All those days off, they helped. See guys, anyone here's management, give your people more time off. They'll perform better, I promise. Swear guys, I got yous. And how much did that undercut work? Well, Sir Lewis Hamilton is nearly 15 seconds behind Stroll. Fantastic work. Brilliant. Couldn't be happy with that. In fact, that's both the Mercedes behind us. Just this problem with the RBs at the moment, but Ricciardo hasn't pit yet. And I'm pretty sure Tsunoda hasn't pit either, so the real question is Stroll going to end up ahead of Tsunoda? The answer's looking like an extremely likely yes. So halfway through the race, a 7th and an 8th place at the moment. However, Tsunoda is very quickly catching up to Stroll. Tsunoda on a much softer compound. Stroll, of course, on his hards. I think it's just a matter of time before Tsunoda gets in between the two Astons. We'll just have to take it as it is and stick to our strategy, and we will prevail in time.
Car's looking not too bad.
Okay.
Fernando in the pits for his final pit stop. Meanwhile, Stroll, overtaken by Yuki, is still keeping up with him, and a blinding overtake just there. Even though Stroll's on the harder compound, he's still giving Yuki a run for his money, and the final pit stop for Stroll could be the difference maker, which makes me extremely nervous. Meanwhile, Alonso with a bit of a mediocre pit stop, just under 3 seconds. It's slowly losing hope that we can pull this off, but if we do, then I'll be a happy man. Well, the fighting carried on between the two until lap 41. Alonso straight past with no bothers at all, and this is the moment of truth. We need that one good pit stop. We need that consistency coming through. Sainz unfortunately too far in front for Alonso to make a difference there, but here we go. Stroll in, Yuki in, and they've stopped. No.
I'm sorry, mate. Porsche 198.
And a slow stop. At the time we didn't need a slow stop. And that's Yuki probably gained 4 seconds of us on us.
It's P9 at the moment. You're behind Sonoda.
Oh wow, and Snowder's also on soft tyres. Oh man, this
Hamilton car behind.
is going to be some kind. I thought I was Sonoda there. Oh
Okay,
no.
That's 16 to go.
Right, quick boost of
Be a bit
DRS
too
there.
aggressive on
Let's save on the fuel
Take
for
it
now
easy
because
with the
we've
fast corners, Lance.
pushed a little bit too far in there.
Big
Now it's time to see if we can
Okay.
have Stroll with the catch of his life. Actually, saying that, the George Russell one in the last race was pretty good. This will be just as good. But unfortunately, lap after lap after lap, thought we were getting close, but we just couldn't do it. We conceded it in the end, but once again, Alonso 7th. Every single feature
That's the
Grand
checkered
Prix,
flag.
7th place. Can't help himself,
P7.
can he? 7th and 9th,
Well, what a
still
race that
double
was.
points.
And there, of course, we see Lance Stroll heading in.
A P9 finish today and some points on the board.
Along with the bonus points for the sprint weekend as well. Fernando Alonso up to 33, Lance Stroll with 8, but gives us a nice big gap over anybody behind us in the constructors. But that pit stop really letting us down. If we found out anything at all from this playthrough, from this career mode so far, is that even with putting a couple of upgrades on the car, Fernando Alonso just loves finishing 7th place. I've never seen somebody so consistent with getting 7th in my life, and I think he's 7th place in the championship as well. So when's he changing the car number to 7? Isn't he 14, which is a multiple of 7? You know what, I think the stars are just aligning on this save, but it's good to see that Stroll's starting to consistently get into the points himself. Next Grand Prix is going to be at the United States at Miami Gardens, another sprint weekend, so maybe we can chuck a few more upgrades on, and maybe, just maybe, we can start challenging that top 6. If not, we're still on course for a very solid 4th place finish in the constructors. Thank you all so much for watching. Comment underneath who your career is with at the moment, whether it's in the official teams or if you've created your own. I want to hear about it. Thumbs up the video, subscribe, and I will see you all next episode. There should be, hopefully, fingers crossed, a couple more streams over the next few weeks with the Jaguar save as well, so make sure you check them out too. But take care of yourself, take care of each other, and see you all next video.